5, like there's only so much you can do, you know?
It's one of those maps that's
Would
really
you rather
awkward.
play Expedition Lost then against Protoss?
I kind of like Expedition Lost against Protoss. Like,
See, you're giving me nightmares already thinking about the last PVT I saw on that map at IEM.
What happened in IM?
I think it was either Flash or it
Oh,
might have been
Innovation
Innovation versus
Zest.
Zest. Like builds like that just give me nightmares. You need like 10 bunkers to defend against a push like that.
There are Protosses that I don't want to play on that map, but I don't really want to play against those one-base Blink Stalker builds on Secret Spring either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, to start off this series, we have Overgrowth, and it's spawning in the top right as our red Terran. It is Liquid's Bunny.
Oh, I got all sad thinking about that Innovation versus Zest match again.
Yeah, don't remind me, man. Innovation losing just makes me sad, dude. Like, if he can't do it, how can we do it? You know?
Seriously. His opponent in the southwest position, the blue Protoss, he is ShoWTimE from Team Alternate Attacks.
German team, I used to be in that long time ago. Back when I was 17.
You know, ShoWTimE, of course, important to mention once again, 2-time EPS champion.
Always worth a mention.
Always worth a mention.
Always worth taking over the broadcast to mention, too. You know? Like,
yeah,
if we didn't mention it, somebody else should just run into the room and be like, yo, this guy won 2 EPS.
Hey, Liquid Bunny also has a top 4 finish in a Fragmite Masters, which ShoWTimE does not have.
Liquid Bunny also won Gfinity.
Yeah.
That's
He's
pretty
He's
awesome.
pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Both of these guys, I believe we're going to be seeing in France, right? In just a couple weeks' time.
WCS?
WCS.
Yeah, they've both qualified to the top 16, so both extraordinarily strong players. And here, ShoWTimE scouts with a probe. Is scouting for Protoss the normal thing to do? Well, some guys do it, some guys don't. If you don't do it, and you don't do it every game, you're pretty prone to getting 2 racks or something like that. But scouting, it just means that ShoWTimE, he feels safe. Now he knows that it's going to be a Reaper on the map. Shouldn't take any probe losses, as it isn't standard 12 racks, 12 gas build from him. One thing that ShoWTimE's done with his base layout, by the way, with his main, he's constructed this kind of wall here with the pylon, the gateway, and the cybernetics core. Means that the Reaper can't get in on this side.
Yeah, so anything hiding behind the mineral lines, if he put his tech there later on, would be very difficult for the Reaper to see.
Right. It means that the Mothership core only has to patrol a small space of land in which to defend the Reaper rather than defending the whole area. And here, did ShoWTimE let his Zealot finish? I don't believe he did, as this SCV is already pretty low.
Yeah, don't want to actually lose it, but, you know, you delay the Nexus a little bit. You force the second probe's mining time, and it's nice when you open up Reaper to get your command center a little bit faster if the Protoss isn't opening up with fast tech.
Certainly. So the game, totally standard right now.
And we're about to say, it's like, well, nothing I can really do there.
Can't get in there, and can't, once you go past the Mothership core, with the base layout that ShoWTimE has, getting back alive, it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. You pretty much guaranteed to lose the Reaper at that point, unless you get some magic.
And this Reaper that's on the map right now, its purpose isn't killing probes. Its purpose is finding out which tech his Protoss opponent is going. If he's going Robo, he can play safe, he can play greedy, because his opponent's going for Vision. It's not going to be Colossi out anytime soon. It's not going to be Immortal, and most likely. But as we see, a Robo is going down, so it looks like ShoWTimE will be playing safe. But if he went a Twilight Council or a Stargate, that's when you need things like turrets and bunkers available. So Liquid Bunny really wants to find out what tech ShoWTimE is going.
Yeah, very important to be able to get a read on that. Bunny
Hellions.
followed it up with the Hellion play. I actually am starting to favor this build quite a bit, mostly because everybody expects me to Widow Mine drop, but also you can catch the Protoss player and just deal a sick amount of damage if they're expecting a mine play.
Well, one great thing about this, it's way earlier than the mine play which you talked about, but also that's roughly like 240 health worth running up your ramp that's inevitably going to scout what tech you're going for.
Yeah.
Also, the potential to deal damage, the 2 Hellion shots and a Reaper shot, that's a dead probe each time. So we're going to see that Bunny will use this, and it's not designed to deal lots of damage, but it can deal damage. The potential is there. Can force an overcharge here, can run straight into the main. Oh, didn't actually get into the main here, so that's actually a bit very well held by ShoWTimE.
And it also 100% lets him know that he's he had a reactor on that factory. He's following it up with Widow Mines, and an Immortal starts up.
So the tech was not actually found by Bunny. And what's he going for here? Like, he hasn't seen anything thus far.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, did ShoWTimE didn't actually get inside of his base and see that he opened up with the factory either, right? So
Right.
he basically gets that information for free, and now he should expect a drop to be coming.
Oh, and he sees the medevac with his
Ouch.
observer. So he knows a medevac and most likely Widowmine drop is on the way to his base. And here, what does he have in position? In fact, is there a second? Okay, second observer will be getting chrono boosted out, I would imagine. Yes, it is. But these Widowmine should be able to drop here, or at least one of them.
Yeah, coming in now. Well, with the Immortal here, actually killing them is going to be quite tricky. Gets the first one. Yeah, second one does get to burrow, but what's it going to get?
Oh, Bunny's doing the trick here, trying to...
Yeah.
But
I mean, ShoWTimE's too smart to just move all of his probes back. He's like, oh, okay, it should be dead by now. No, he's not going to make that mistake. So Widowmine, basically, that drop pretty much completely useless.
So Bunny, upon seeing that Immortal, must think like, is he going to be doing something dodgy with that Immortal? But the Stalker count was very low. And I guess that maybe he saw the blur with the medevac on the way to his base.
With the Twilight? Oh, Dark Shrine.
Oh, is he doing the fake Immortal bust? I think he's doing the fake Immortal bust into Dark Shrine, like, or rather into DT, then getting just a safe economy kind of build behind it.
Yeah, he can. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised not to see a Warp Prism start up right after this Immortal is done.
Right.
Yeah, there we go, to get ready for the follow-up, as you just mentioned.
Nice by Bunny sniping that Observer.
And yeah, here comes that massive force moving out. Stim is not yet ready, especially due to the gas early on being invested into that factory starport play.
Look at this production tab. We have Dark Shrine on the way, we have Robo on the way, and we have this Immortal army with the second Immortal soon to be joining that squad, coming to Bunny's base. Isn't the scariest army that he's got going? Actually moves the Zealot forward there on its own. That is in case...
A Widowmine or something.
A Widowmine or just a large army waiting at the top of the ramp.
Yeah. Knowing is nice. And this bunker is actually caught off guard, so could actually get a little bit of damage done with this, even if he's not ready to commit to an all-in with it.
Oh my god. Yeah, this isn't an all-in, guys. This isn't an all-in at all. And Bunny having his first bunker sniped like that, kind of in panic mode here.
And if you're a Terran, this is, I think his stim is finishing up, so that's maybe why he's not immediately dropping like 10, or not like 10, but like 3 bunkers, but still could do a lot with the force fields here.
I'm very scared about this Widowmine drop, by the way, for ShoWTimE, because what kind of detection does he have at home? There's no forges on the field.
There's an observer, but no units, so the mines are going to be able to burrow. Is he going to be able to target? There's the frozen overcharge.
In fact, there is an observer here.
Does get some probe kills. Nice.
Trying to focus that medevac as he knows that this Widowmine will die eventually. In fact, he let the Widowmine stay up.
Both bases now. He's pulling SCVs to actually fight against this, and here comes the Warp Prism DT. Totally unprepared for this. Starts a missile turret, but he's got so many things to deal with. The army is retreating from his base. There's the scan, so he picks off that TT.
Ooh, oh,
losing the Warp Prism.
Oh, he's
going to get all of them.
3 DTs for 1 scan.
I really liked how this was going for ShoWTimE until that specific moment. And now he force fields the ramp, so he's like, okay, I got to get something done.
ShoWTimE's still doing a lot of damage.
Oh, we just got another big mine hit. 11 probes are dead.
Oh, man. Was that in the main?
Oh, no. Oh, he targeted that one. Boom.
14 probes down. That is very unfortunate. And ShoWTimE, he totally forgot about these mines.
You know, in a span of about 20 seconds, this went from, I really like ShoWTimE's position to, oh, crap.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just down to, like, he didn't spread out his DTs. He tried to warp them in on the mineral line when they're all bunched up and surrounded.
Yeah.
Yes, he has a 3rd base up, but... Man, that was
is he going to be able to hold on to it is the big question, and that's the one that I'm having a hard time believing he'll be able to do.
I mean, that's a scary Terran army without having any sort of splash on the field.
Like, even if he gets a Colossus out, there's not a lot of meat behind this. He's really hoping that the force fields will buy him time while the Immortals kill the Marauders, and then the Colossi get any Marines, but not a lot of Zealots. Means if he gets by the force fields, or he doesn't get those force fields, they could crush him.
Still potential for DTs dealing damage.
Ooh, okay, I do like this.
Yeah, they will be.
Force him to spend some attention here.
Ooh, I'm surprised he doesn't run up. Oh, he's just gonna... I mean, it's a suicidal DT there.
It didn't look like he was controlling it too much, but this Bioforce we're talking about comes up, scans like, okay, there's the Colossus and the DT.
No thermal lance just yet either.
Oh, I think Bunny's like, I really, really want to snipe this Nexus, so he's gonna focus it down and then get the hell out. Nice pickup. Due to the opening that he picked, there's no blink, so these stalkers can't really chase. Very, I think that's exactly what Bunny wanted to get out of that.
That was efficient, man. That was very efficient. This 3rd base probably needs a bunker, as there is a pylon on the right, which should get spotted soon, especially with all these DTs that keep marching in here from apparently nowhere.
At what point do you think these DTs are actually worth it, though? Up to 5 SCV kills, okay. It's not too bad. But he's continuing to add, like, trickle them in.
Yeah.
It delays a lot of other things that you might do.
I guess the thing is, this Colossi count's really low. Like, it's 2, it's probably soon going to be 3. His upgrades, he's behind. He just has to buy time, but what's he buying time for? His opponent getting Vikings here?
Yeah, even though the first DTs didn't do a crazy amount of damage, keeping that Warp Prism alive would have given him an incredible amount of options at this point.
Yeah, he went Rambo with that Warp Prism. Like, he just flew it right into the mineral line.
Warping in inside of the mineral line. Like,
it was ballsy.
Yeah.
And, you know, it didn't work out, especially with the fact that he had 2 Widow Mines, one in each mineral line.
Does your OCD get triggered by this one medevac that has 1 unit inside of it?
My OCD?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had it, sure, but...
Well, I mean, I'm getting it. That one Marine, man. He's like, gets special treatment. Everybody's just walking around on their feet, and this guy's just like, nope, want my limo. DT actually gets into this mineral line to pick off some SCVs.
That feeling when he doesn't one-shot SCVs anymore. He's trying to micro it. Oh! 2 SCVs for a DT, certainly not worth it.
Could have had quite a few. That's actually a really good point. That upgrade difference ends up affecting even that harass.
So guys, whenever you play against DTs, get the armor upgrade. Definitely
Just
worthwhile.
rush out +1 armor if you know he rushes DTs. Then your Marines and SCVs won't die in 1 hit. Boom.
Yeah. And even stimmed combat shield Marines won't die in 1 hit, which is really nifty. Oh, misses that observer. But the second scan.
Another scan. I really want to kill that one. Funny thing is, I think there's still a DT at the tower.
Oh, SCVs, Nathanias, and 2-2 on the way. If I was ShoWTimE and I knew what was happening, cancel that 2-2 and spend all that money.
I mean, he's getting force fielded at a really strategic position. Does he have another force field wave ready? Okay, well, actually, they're just going to start sprinting these guys through. Oh, that Colossus gets caught off guard. Here comes the rest of the army rushing up. Not any more force fields really parse this. He's spread out beautifully, and there wasn't a lot of gateway units behind this because of how much he invested in all those zealots, so the army actually gets on top of this. The Colossi are trying to kite
the
major defensive DTs warped in, but he has scans.
Yeah, he has scans. He absolutely decimated that army, and GG is called. Bunny takes a pretty convincing first game, actually. Like, it looked a little dicey for a while, but...
At the start, it's like the bunker gets sniped, and normally that's when, you know, the Terran's like, oh, no, like, starts going off. And then you're trying to defend against that front push while a DT gets dropped in your base, and you don't have a missile turret, like...
But then the scan got 3 DTs and the Warp Prism.
What really did it, I think, for Bunny was the mine drop while all that happened. Like, getting those 2 Widow Mines, and then you just completely ruin any attempt of a follow-up by ShoWTimE when you kill like 11 probes with that.
And did you see what happened? Like, he had vision of the Widow Mine in his base, and then he tried sniping the medevac as that flew over.
Oh, so everything ran away.
And then he ran after it, and then he kind of ignored what was happening.
Oh,
and then it was like, okay, I got a Widow Mine in each base, but I think he just thought that the Photon Overcharge killed the Widow Mine in his main. And then I think he forgot about the one in his natural, but then losing 14 probes and losing 3 DTs, which is 375,
and
375.
the Warp Prism.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of losses all in the space of like 20 seconds.
Yeah, like I said, like in 20 seconds, that game was just like...
And you're playing, like, he was playing a tempo-based strat too. Like, the Immortal push, it was kind of a fake, but it did more damage than it should have, really.
Yeah.
Like, with just 2 Immortals, it wasn't scary.
Got a good number of SCV kills at the front, picked out some units.
Forced the army into the main and forced it back. Kept pulling SCVs off the line as well to defend it. Then it's like, oh man, this Warp Prism on my main with a DT in it?
Yeah, like, how can you deal with that? But...
And he dealt with it by a scan, got all 3 DTs in 1 scan and got the Warp Prism. Like, it was a bit... It was a bit stocky and rigid by ShoWTimE to try and go for that, like to try and warp in right there and 2 DTs on the spot.
A bit
ambitious.
Bit ambitious. Full Rambo, as you said. But
an eager beaver.
Yeah, he wasn't quite the Rambo that he needed to be to make that work. Map number 2 does not make anything easier for ShoWTimE because we're going to Catalina.
Catalina. So Overgrowth, certainly the Protoss map of the 2. In fact, out of these maps, I'd say Deadwing and Overgrowth are the 2.
Yeah, that's like
Protossy maps.
So you know, because I like to think about this. You know, when you compare it to like other games, I was thinking about the Counter-Strike we were playing. It's like, oh, this one's like CT or this one's T-side. It's like, no, the Overgrowth is going to be your P-sided map in this best of 5 with Deadwing. Catalina's your Terran-sided map for sure. And this is a really uncomfortable position to be in as ShoWTimE because if you lose this map, then it's like, well, Bunny's got like potentially 3 games in a row where all he needs to do is something crazy and you're just done.
Certainly. So things that are advantageous for overgrowth, well, the 3 bases, they're pretty far away from the Terran, so those big SCV pulls, they're harder to do. Also, attacking into the natural, it's all on flat ground. It's not attacking up a hill. And usually the Protoss will be the one taking advantage of that with like Colossi and Search and Force Fields. It's much easier to attack into rather than this base where you have to attack up a ramp with those kind of builds. I guess you can talk about Blink Stalkers being like hitting into the main, but in general this map's so good for dropping. And which race drops more than any other? It's Terran, any day of the week. And with the current meta, where Widow Mines are the way to go, well, Terran, they have fun on this map.
I love how it's circled back around to that. Because, I mean, I obviously, I'm like super cheesy, so I just go gas first and just go ham. Maybe not the most efficient
You're
way
owning
to
up
play.
to your cheesy kind of style now, Nathanius?
Against Protoss? I don't think, I mean, it's not like I proxy anything. Right?
Ah, okay.
It's just a
So you're not super cheesy.
It's just a 1 base gas first mind drop, hoping to not, you know, get...
Not run into a proxy Oracle build.
Well, it depends. If
Don't you hate that build
well,
when you do that?
Well, the thing is, if the Oracle comes fast enough, then the Widow Mine just kills it when they go on a mineral line. But that's when you get to play versus people like Maximus Black who figure that out, and then they just run the Oracle to your ramp where your 4 Marines are, and then you just that is like how you instantly lose.
Have
with
you
that
lost
opening.
to him?
I've lost to him because of that. And that because
How does that feel?
Because of that reason, I actually put the Widow Mine at the ramp when you play versus people like that, and just keep the Marines nearby. Yeah.
People like that, eh?
That's how, you know, it's like how the meta of cheese evolves.
Wow.
It's like my build is pretty cheesy. His build's cheesy, so mine has like this tweak, and then he changes his cheese. And
I never thought about all these mind games that go on between cheeses.
I've
It's
only
like,
ever played one other person that like did that, and it was so smart of them. It was like it could just completely catch you off guard. But that's not what Bunny's doing because he's not that crazy.
That's not what's going on here, guys.
No.
There is a Nexus.
I just like to
going
talk about mines.
Yeah, I mean, you just love like that cheesy play, man. Oh, by the way, ShoWTimE going for the wall down here. This is kind of...
Oh, he's doing the whole position trick. You can't build anything on the assimilator because the SCV's holding position. Units actually take up more space, like slightly more when they're not moving, so it makes it
is he going to get...
tricky.
Ooh.
Losing that Reaper would have really sucked.
That would have sucked hardcore. As
And
we talked
the
about
factory
in the first
follow-up.
game.
Boom, boom.
I like this. This is what he did the game prior.
Yeah.
But he got out Hellions very early, which actually accomplished pretty much nothing. Got a probe kill.
Yeah.
Got the pull on the mineral line, I
think
suppose.
going for the Widow Mines faster would be better, personally.
I love the Widow Mine play.
Yeah.
The probe gets a full scout of this, by the way. So you may think like, oh, well, the probe, like, he now knows where he is, right? It's not just about that. When you go for a Reaper build, there's kind of 2 options you can do beyond that point. You can either go for factory, or you can go for 3 barracks, or it's kind of dipped out of fashion now. People used to go for a fast engineering bay and 2 barracks for getting that really fast +1.
Well, Flash was the guy that started doing that when Proxy Oracle was basically the meta for PvT.
Right. It was a very nice build, actually, for getting fast +1.
Yeah,
fast
in a metagame where everybody basically oracled you, whether it was proxy or 1 gate into Oracle from their main, like opening fast eBay was just great for that because then you have the upgrade advantage all game too.
Now, has Bunny seen the Twilight Council? I don't believe he's seen any tech, and ShoWTimE's done a really good job of just keeping Bunny, and that Reaper especially, just outside of his base. So he's gone for the Twilight Council, now he's going for the Robo second. So the Robo is kind of like a safety Robo, going to get out observers by the time this Widow Mine could possibly hit him. As you see, the starport's just finished. Second Widow Mine on the way, most likely will be followed up with a medevac. Here we are, so that Robo very nicely timed. As for gas-wise, ShoWTimE hasn't started his blink yet, but there we are. So this is as standard as a standard game gets, guys.
Yeah.
And here, the best foreign Terran against one of the best foreign Protosses. Yeah, these are the builds you want to be doing.
Yep, a couple of Marines are going to pressure the front. Actually, going to force that
Gonna lose it.
overcharge out and kill the Mothership Core.
Oh my god,
that's
for how many? For 1 Marine? What a trade.
Nice.
Oh my god, is he
Nope.
gonna... Oh.
No.
Wait, what? He went for it, Nathanius.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're going to get those Marines, but Stalker and a Mothership Core for like 5-6 Marines and a lot of hit points off of this Stalker that cannot be recovered. It's not bad at all, especially considering that now that his medevac is coming, Stalkers have a really hard time actually killing Marines when they're being healed, and you have the Nexus Cannon's going to be gone soon.
I'm so surprised with
Is
what's
he going to like,
happened there.
is he going to like bop him here?
I mean, he's going to get out the Observer, sure, but This is a mineral line that has to be forfeited for now. Oh, is he going to unburrow the Widowmine? I think he might.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one probe baits out that mine shot.
Oh, this is nice. The probe's around. Is he going to get it? Oh,
That's
wow.
actually a very important pick-off here. As
Very
he's
big
going to pull
pick-off.
even more of these probes to come fight against this. These Marines having trouble against the Stalkers in the main. But, you know, he's forced a lot of lost mining time in that natural, since having 30-something probes on your natural doesn't actually give you more income than 24.
Weird that these SUVs came to join the fight. I think that was a bit of a misrally by Bunny.
I like this follow-up drop, too, because with the 2 medevacs and all the healing that he could do there,
yeah,
either pull him out of position or just go for a strike. Did he lifted up the mine, did he, into that medevac outside the main?
I believe it died, actually.
Okay.
But with this is a drop to lure him into the main, to distract him. Whereas, look, now he's got into the natural, guys.
In the natural expansion, he has
There
a
he
Widow
is.
Mine here, too. He's going to burrow the mine, and... Oh, he's got an Observer, so...
The Observer, but so he lost a Marine and a Widow Mine for that. But what did he gain? That mineral line wasn't mining for a good 10 to 15 seconds.
Has he seen the double forge? He was quite close to it, but I'm not
believe
sure
he
if
did.
he actually got full vision.
Oh, we got a
Just
single
saw
forge.
one.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
Not
the Robo,
the biggest steal ever.
I mean, even though he hasn't seen that, his stim's pretty late.
Yeah.
But he's already getting +1. He's getting his 3rd base. Bunny's just opting for the pretty similar style to what he did the first game, and it's correct. His 3rd base starting, very safe. Everything's very, very safe about Bunny's play. Cannons are joining the mineral lines now for ShoWTimE, so he's ready for that drop play. Or further drop play, but Bunny's already getting ready for the next stage of the game. And when your Protoss opponent's investing 300 minerals, just in defense that ultimately he's never going to have to, or put to use again, I'm really favoring Bunny's position. He just feels like he's one step ahead every time.
Yeah, and especially considering that now we're moving into that phase of the game where these medevacs become a huge nuisance. Now you can have so many of them on the map, and even though he's aware that it most likely is a Colossus follow-up to the defensive blink opening, you still have a lot of medevac production because he just wants to abuse how few Colossi there are in the beginning, the early stage of the game.
How many gateways are going down? Because I just saw 5 in production. So depending on how many he already has up, we could either, if it's up to 6, then a 3rd base is very likely.
He hasn't started Thermal Lance yet, though, has he?
I don't know. I don't think he's had the gas. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe he's
so
waiting
it has
to
be,
start.
yeah, that's why I think the 3rd base suggestion that you have was a lot smarter. Like, he can't really push without Thermal Lance, unless he
Certainly
wants
not.
to lose.
The cool thing for Bunny, in fact, the cool thing for ShoWTimE is that Stim isn't quite done yet, but when you see this kind of army out in the field, you don't think about Stim not being done, you just see the army.
You're just like, that's a lot.
So 2-2 has started for ShoWTimE, so he's pretty on point with this. In fact, this cannon is going to come in handy. There is a Widow Mine that gets dropped in. Oh, gets the pull off, and the cannon gets the job done.
He's trying to buy some time. Stim is about to finish up, but not ready just yet. Oh, that medevac, bit sloppy.
Nice snipe by ShoWTimE too.
Yeah,
Pounced
Stim
on it.
finishing in 5 seconds. He's taking his 3rd base. This is actually a really nicely timed 3rd base for ShoWTimE. If Bunny is not able to get any damage done in the next minute or so this game.
I feel this is one of those games where if Bunny gets out a good 8 to 9 Vikings, or even more in the next minute or two, ShoWTimE's going to be very, very susceptible. Oh, there's no Thermal Lance. He's going for it. He's picked that up.
Getting in without that range. Very nice. The Zealots moving in on top of the Marines, but there's not really a lot of them. And here he is, spreading his forces out just a little bit more. Needs to get the Marauders on top of the Colossus. Now he will. Picks it off. He came in with so few Vikings, even landing the one Viking he has to fight against this. And trying to build a nice advantage. 2-2 so far away. And some cute micro against the Stalkers.
Some very cute.
Wow.
Oh, Buddy, Liquid Buddy, he's doing it. That was sick micro.
That was actually, that's stuff I dream about doing in my own games.
Oh, and look at that, like,
Brings a tear to my eye.
that was beautiful. Like, he clicked on those Colossi, he saw they didn't have Thermal Lance, and he was like, you know what? I'm going for it, guys. And he had sick micro along with it.
I think that's a very difficult thing to make work if the Protoss has Colossus range, but you normally expect him to. In this instance, he doesn't. Now it's finished, but there's not really enough to stop this from just running ahead and killing him.
Yeah, he's got absolutely nothing left. All the anti-air is now dead. And this ground army, there's nothing to stop it. There's a single Colossi, but he chased it down with
You're
the
not
medevac.
getting away, GG Bunny.
Oh.
Now up 2-0 against ShoWTimE. That's not even like a Catalina thing. The early drop play definitely played into it, but ShoWTimE, like, gets a nice time 3rd, but damn, Bunny was able to engage that army somewhere a Nexus could. There was no possibility for a Nexus cannon to soak up damage. It was while 2-2 had already been started, so that big gas and resource investment was made. But also, Thermal Lance not being done is just.
There's a few things we have to talk about very early on that happened that like usually never happen at this level. So the mothership core was looking at the top of the ramp, like it was out pretty far ahead, and he saw the 6 Marines. And the 6 Marines got a volley off, stuttered forward, got another volley off, then Photon Overcharge got activated, and he tried to run away and lost the mothership core, which should never happen. Should never, ever happen.
When you put it, you make me think about it like that. Like, just that gas, that 100 gas to replace it, that ends up domino affecting when you can start Thermal Lance.
And the future energy as well, for another Photon Overcharge to defend against the Widowmine drops and what have you. So, like, the fact that he had to set off that energy so early, that sucks. Like, ultimately, you anticipate those 6 Marines coming, and you Photon Overcharge, and it's like, cool. But then with the 3 Stalkers that he had, and he walked over a Widowmine, chasing down those distraction Marines, those Marines, they are meant to go there and force an overcharge. That is their goal, and you can lose, like, a Marine or 2. Sometimes you run into 3 Stalkers, and you might lose all the Marines and achieve a Photon Overcharge. But they not only forced the overcharge, they killed a mothership core, and they forced a Stalker to die as well. That was a bargain, an absolute bargain. So that was a huge, huge, huge blunder by ShoWTimE. And going on, Bunny felt so comfortable that he could do whatever he wanted. He macroed beautifully, he microed beautifully, and he took perfect engagements. Like, there was no mistake with Bunny's play whatsoever.
And even just going over a kill on that final fight, especially the
pickup micro.
The pickup micro.
Eat your heart out.
You know, all those Stalkers are wasting their volleys on a unit that they can't hit.
Can't hit what you can't see.
Just going up and down, and that allows the rest of the army to just
go ham. Yeah, great play, and 2-2 never kicked in either.
Nope.
I mean, this 2-2 upgrade, ShoWTimE keeps making it, but Bunny just keeps killing him before it even means anything.
Yeah, if ShoWTimE wants to reset the momentum in this series, he has to do it here, pretty much. Deadwing.
Deadwing. This is a map to do it.
Yeah, this is going to be. It's a bigger map. I think this is one of those maps where I kind of like those little Hellion trickery plays like he made in the first game. But
I showed Bunny a replay on this map yesterday.
What kind of replay?
TVP.
Is it some dark secret you can't talk about on stream?
No, I mean, I'm talking about it. I just started talking about it. But, you know, I showed Bunny some of my moves. So we'll see if he does them.
So what are the moves?
I mean,
I just asked you if we weren't going to be able to actually talk about them.
Well, I'm building up the suspense.
You're going to make me wait for it, Ben.
Well, if he doesn't do it, then I look like a pleb. But if he does do it, then I'll talk about him. And
you look like a
what the idea is behind it and all that, you know, Nathanius. Anyhow, spawning in the top left of Deadwing as our blue Terran, it is Liquid Bunny.
Bunny hype.
Bunny with a 2-0 freaking advantage here.
Yeah, this is a good map now since it is favor, I'd say, to Protoss. Aside from, there's still a good drop potential, but this is the map that this guy needs to be able to bring back, our red Protoss player. He is ShoWTimE.
Now, ShoWTimE definitely looked a little bit flustered in these last 2 games. I mean, the Mothership Core loss and the Stalker loss in that last game especially, those are unforgivable mistakes. And I mean, the pressure is on. You're in the winner bracket of Frightbite Masters, and ShoWTimE, he actually busted through his group stage match, beating Snoot twice, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And Snoot did some weird stuff to him, too. He was able to maintain his cool throughout odd situations.
Yeah, he made gateway walls where you shouldn't really... Well, where I've never seen gateway walls, he handled the gold base very well.
He handled the gold base exceptionally well on Vonnie Research Station against Snoot, too.
Yeah, and ShoWTimE's a very competent player. Okay, now I can talk about the game. Okay, so I actually showed him a replay of this happening exactly on this map. Against Nexus first.
So what do? Is it a Hellion build? Is it...
I went Reaper, and I went for a second Reaper, but I had closer positions than this. But upon seeing this, Liquid Bunny will not be too phased. But that being said, with the Reaper, you can probably anticipate getting 2 or 3 probe kills.
Yeah, you're happy
if you get that many.
Yeah, you're happy if you can get like 3 or 4.
But like I noticed in the replay that I played, even if I got that many, or when I did get that many, I got 6 actually, and the Protoss still seemed kind of ahead. So, and on a map of this size, that's why you can get away with it. And I mean,
yeah, if you play an economic opening as Terran against Protoss when they go Nexus first, then that's an ugly spot to be in.
I remember when it was like CC first against Nexus first, back in Wings of Liberty time.
And it's like just build a third command center immediately.
Yeah, you build a third instantly with like no gases to catch up. So like in a situation where you've already invested in the gas, then you get a late CC, which his CC only just started and the Nexus is finishing. Like, economically,
you need to do something with this Reaper.
You need to do something. And there's going to be a Zealot on the field, but...
Yeah, but he's very far away from having a Stalker or a Mothership Core, so this all comes down to his control. Can he micro this Reaper well enough to basically make this game even again?
Oh, now I'm very curious. Okay, so do you think he's going to let those probes finish on his natural, given that they're pretty much dead if the Reaper heads back there? We'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, see. He's hoping to get a catch.
Oh, gets a loss. I mean, that's already kind of a nifty start by Bunny. He's going to get a second probe here too.
The way that this is set up, eventually he could try to almost block him in, because there's not too much space to run around in, but the Zealot is mostly just there to be like, yeah, please
Cannon
shoot
fodder.
me, please shoot me, because the Zealot's totally useless at this point in the game anyway, unless you were going to do some sort of follow-up push, which doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon.
And guys, if we look at this situation here,
yeah, those probes finishing in the natural. This is his opportunity, because I think he can get, maybe he'll get one more.
Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for it? I mean, probe micro, it's that.
It'd be really nice to get it. Oh,
is he going to?
Oh,
this
no.
Could die. This could die. So, I mean, is it going to? Is it like, oh! Wow.
That's really unfortunate. So what, it's just 2 probe kills on that Reaper?
2 probes,
I wouldn't be too happy with that.
And I mean, I think a few of those kills could have been avoided too by ShoWTimE if he microed a little bit better on his mineral line.
He did enough damage to kill like 4 or 5, but it was just spread out across the other 2 probes he didn't kill and the Zealot.
Yeah, so
he even hit the next, I think, too.
So we're looking at this situation, guys. This probe kind of just running around. Does he even know where Bunny's base is? I think he scouted it earlier.
Yeah. He saw the expansion. He ran up there with the probe.
Okay, this Reaper is not yet done.
Coming back for blood. I mean, there's a couple softened up probes, but the Stalker is out too, I think, so.
Look at this worker count, though, Nathanias. This is, like, for a Terran already, even though you have mules available and such, I'm never that comfortable, but we'll see what he can do here.
This is just the impact the Nexus first has when you have double probe production so fast and chrono boost. Reaper jumps up, is like, well, better jump out. Now let's see, because the most important part of this game, at least now, Bunny's Reaper shouldn't be able to bring things back to equilibrium. He needs to make a move with this medevac and with his Widow Mines. The Robo Facility's just finished, and there's enough energy for a Photon Overcharge.
Ooh, this Widow Mine, though, is getting in a nifty position here in the back of the mineral line. Did you just sacrifice probe rather than the Zealot?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the trouble here for ShoWTimE is he just used a Photon Overcharge on the natural. There is a medevac now on the field that means he can ship those units and just ferry them into the main. He's going for a really fast Colossi here.
Yeah, his Observer is done, so now that will come over and allow him to kill.
Nicely timed.
The Widow Mine, yeah, it won't have enough time to get another shot off, but the medevac is now loading. If this is, I guess, I really feel like he has to do damage with this drop right here, right now, or dealing with a follow-up push from ShoWTimE becomes borderline impossible.
Okay, so why is he waiting with this medevac? Is he doing something at home with another medevac? Ooh, I love the fact that he just went for this natural.
Just going back to the natural again, and he. Oh, okay. Well, that Widow Mine didn't end up doing anything at all.
Missed.
Unfortunately.
It went into the gas, did it?
Yeah, it went into the gas.
Good micro by ShoWTimE. Good micro by Bunny. Both microing very well, but only 2 Marines left here.
Yeah, this is actually really nice. If he doesn't lose any of the Stalkers, that's actually just a phenomenal defense.
Solid play by ShoWTimE, and this probe lead that he has.
I don't like this position at all for Bunny.
Like Bunny's done a good job of getting those probes off the mineral line and stop them from mining for a good period of time. The cannons now this game, when you go for like a defensive position and you add cannons, I kind of...
With how little he's lost, like these cannons are wise investments because
when you're already ahead,
knows he has to know that he's way ahead based on the way that these openers played out.
Like, I keep talking about ShoWTimE being ahead, but Bunny's done a good job of catching up on SCVs, like a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, Bunny's skill is definitely nothing to be questioned here. Just the way that these build orders played out and what he was able to make of them hurt quite a bit. That cannon pushes him back, and there's not really... He can't really put any more pressure on at this point, doesn't look like. He has to wait until he has stim to actually burst down those cannons.
No stim on the field for quite a while. Bunny taking a 3rd base on the 3rd. He realizes his opponent has been playing defensive, and given that ShoWTimE's I think he's seen the 2 medevacs on the field, he has to play a little bit careful here. 4 gateways being added, Colossi is being thrown down, a single forge this time. I actually like the fact that he's gone for a single forge as the double forge so far. It's just been an investment that hasn't paid off in any of the 2 previous games.
Another gateway being added. The Observer saw the 3rd base. He also saw the Medivacs at home, which means that there's not any drops that could actually do anything to him unless he built more than this, which you couldn't really afford to do if you were going to switch into all of your tech after the mine drop play. So he's going to feel comfortable enough to take this 3rd base, start that Warp Prism up, and...
3rd Nexus goes down.
Yeah.
So, within regards to PvT, what is the time to throw down a 3rd for a Protoss and a Terran? Well, the Terran usually gets it up first. And when does the Protoss get it? Well, if you start your 3rd by the time that the orbital's done, you're pretty okay as long as you maintain solid probe production. And as you see, they're both pretty similar on the SCV count and probe count. So this game, it's still relatively even.
Yeah, Bunny's done a really good job of just macroing hard to try to keep this one together. He's, at similar points in this series, been up 20 or so supply, but he's also supply blocked right now, so not able to actually get anything going. And ooh, so close to grabbing that mine kill.
So close, so close. Oh, Vikings out on an aggressive posture.
Really like how fast he goes straight into the +2 attack. So he's got his eyes open, and as you mentioned with the Vikings there, if there's an opportunity for him to jump on top of this army like he did on the last map, it looks like he will.
Charge starting very early. Templar Archives, another cannon in the 3rd base now. So
Warp Prism
ShoWTimE
making its way up towards the base too.
Ooh, that's a Warp Prism already? On the left side of the map here?
Yeah,
wow.
I think that's Warp Prism.
That's incredibly early. Is he... Now, if you were ShoWTimE, would you hope... In fact, he's running straight in with that. I'm kind of surprised that he's not waiting for a fight to happen and then running it in. Like, he's just revealed it now. It's like, oh, here.
Whoops. And now Bunny's... yeah, you lose the surprise element of the Warp Prism.
Yeah, I mean...
He's just lucky.
Vikings can kind of run over there and just take him out now. And or at least hover around that side of the map. And ShoWTimE's doing the correct thing because he realizes, I kind of just revealed that, didn't I? Now we're going to run away. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. High Templars and Storm. Woo, this is very early. So, and I think it's going to be early enough that this push of Bunnies, if he does go for it, won't be able to work out.
Yeah. So a bunch of gateways are going to be finishing up soon. Charge and Storm. I was a little surprised, I guess, with a single Forge play going for the +1 attack afterwards. He won't have that +2 armor, so these Marines will actually deal pretty well with any Zealot-based warp-in. So Charge won't be the biggest thing for him. However, now with the Warp Prism still coming back in, that's quite nice.
I don't believe Bunny saw it, when it popped into the base and said hello.
Very, very fortunate for ShoWTimE, because the Viking on patrol can pretty much shut down the majority of this from happening. And now Storm is done. Yeah, Storm's done, Charge is done, +2 armor on the way. ShoWTimE's army significantly smaller, but engaging a Protoss with Storm, it's increasingly difficult. And now, time is against Bunny. Bunny's army is not going to get much stronger than this, especially when that +2 and the +1 air hits here, +1 weapons to mechanical. And now, is this a big SCV pull? With that scan, he definitely saw the Templar. I think that's...
It
looks like he still has a lot of SCVs mining, but...
I think he does, but this has got to be a good 20 or 30 marching across the field now, and he's just hit 200 supply, so if there is a timing to do an SCV pull, that +1 Viking air attack is just hitting. I love the 2 cannons at the front too, by the way.
Yeah, so the rest of his army is now here, ready to rock and roll. He's a massive Bioforce.
In fact, where did he?
No, he didn't even bring workers.
He
just has a ridiculous amount of supply.
Oh, man. So heading into Ghost Tech here
but I don't see how he can engage this. Like, even with this much supply lead, Storms will kill all of it very easily.
They certainly will.
You need Ghosts to deal with this.
The funny thing here, Bunny actually has the upgrade advantage, but... Oh, man, this Warp Prism again coming into effect.
Oh, not able to kill that. And canceling the 4th actually quite nice. It's just crazy to think that Bunny's army is better in every single way, except that he doesn't have anything to deal with the Storm.
Man, I'm really surprised ShoWTimE's moving out against this. He kind of doesn't need to, but Storms on the Vikings?
Oh, well, this could be a really good bait by ShoWTimE. If Bunny marches up that ramp, there's still a few Storms left. Now, I don't think it's bad to bleed out some of the bio because he wants to get that supply into Ghosts since he was maxed out, but that Warp Prism.
This Warp Prism, I'm just looking at this bio on the floor.
Like, you guys can't reach me.
These Zealots. Hello, Terran.
Oh. Could have already gotten to work on those SCVs.
Those Marines messed with the wrong Zealots right there. You get kind of chomped up, but the Zealots will be cleaned up eventually. And this army of ShoWTimE now goes out and takes the 4th base rather comfortably, and getting +3 armor, +2 weapons finishing up. He's catching up with the Terran.
Yeah, this is his best position ShoWTimE's been in this series. Waiting now as he moves across the map before he actually warps anything else in. Bunny's gonna max out again very shortly. I'm still, how many ghosts does he have? He should be up to like close to 6 now. Yeah.
That's a solid count. Oh, there's Vikings.
Some of these medevacs aren't actually coming over towards the army. The Vikings look for that warp prism but can't find it. Also keep in mind, those Vikings will die very, very quickly to any damage they take since they haven't been repaired yet.
One of the things that I like when Terrans do on this map, I like it when they take 4 orbital bases and then put a PF at the front here where these ghosts are, where this army's meeting up. I feel that's a really, really solid posture to take.
Yeah, because most of the time, if they're actually on top of your 4th base, that means your army has failed to do its job and you're kind of dead. So putting it out front allows you to at least keep your base alive if they do pick off the planetary.
And when a Protoss has the option to go at a 4th base there, or a 3rd base, and they're both of equal distance when your army gets to that point, but one's PF, one isn't.
And he's going to PF the 4th anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice against the Zealot run-bys.
Certainly is, certainly is. Nice little bit of blink micro there by ShoWTimE, reacts very quickly.
Bunny's going to be looking to get them EMPs going to fight against this, but I guess the upgrades are relatively even, so the +3 armor finishing up very soon for ShoWTimE will prevent him from getting completely wrecked in a straight-up fight.
I love the addition.
Oh, he got the Warp Prism finally.
That is a big, big kill, actually. Warp Prism. Oh, in fact, there's pylons kind of scattered around the map now, so I like
this is very annoying because Bunny's trying to prepare for a sick engagement. He doesn't have Cloak just yet, even though he snipes the observers. Ooh, good to actually pick off on that snipes.
He's very bunched up here.
Oh, he EMPs the majority of the army. There still looks like 2 or 3 storms. Okay, actually now he gets all the Templar and is able to engage. This was perfect. The Templar didn't even immediately begin to morph into Archons, so he doesn't have those coming up. One storm does hit on this force, but he's killed everything already. And Bunny taking the perfect fight despite being harassed during the engagement, before the engagement, and even right now still being harassed. Wow, that was sick.
Bunny made that look.
He was so clumped up.
Like, guys,
and picking off the observers makes it hard to know where that army is. Another Templar comes down for a storm, but at this point, the storms can't really bring you back just yet because he doesn't have any units to actually finish him off with.
And I mean, his 3rd base, it looks like it's very much so under fire. In fact, getting evacuated. But this army is just not going to be stopped with what ShoWTimE's throwing at him. And a DT kind of chipping away here just outside his scam range, but loses his natural, losing all his tech. His Templar Archives is very much GG.
Bunny takes the 3-0.